Welcome to the Rich Lady Revolution, redefining rich with Diane McKendrick. Hey, lovely lady, I see you. You're an ambitious, high-achieving woman, driven, passionate, and ready for more. More money, more impact, more freedom. This is the place where women just like you come together from all over the world to break the old rules and redefine what it truly means to be rich. Because being a rich lady is about so much more than money. Joining the Rich Lady Revolution with those two sisters is about more than the money in your bank account. It's about building wealth on your terms, doing what you love, with who you love, and creating a life that feels as good as it looks. It's about stepping into your unshakable power and purpose. This podcast, combined with my 5th book, is your personal invitation to step into your rich lady identity. I will be here to educate, inspire, and empower you along the way, to support you to cut the crap, do the thing, and be the rich lady you were born to be. So if you are ready to elevate your income, your impact, and your life, the revolution starts now. Hello, and welcome to episode number 223 of the Rich Lady Revolution, Redefining Rich. I'm super excited today because I have a very special guest here. She's one of my clients, and I've watched over the last few months as she's really made some massive shifts in her timeline, in her personality, in her life, in her lifestyle, and then therefore also her business. So I wanted to bring her here today and introduce her to you because she's someone you want to know. She's someone you want to be around. She's someone who is not just up and coming, already made waves in the industry and done incredible things. And I'm lucky enough to call her a friend and a client of mine. So welcome, Christine Innes. How are you today?
I'm amazing. So fired up today.
Yeah, ready for whatever it is that we're all creating together, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just a community. Like I think business is hard. Business can be lonely. So you've got to be
Yeah.
around the right people.
Yeah. And I feel like that's sort of where our journey started. It was several years ago now. You came to my house, didn't you, when I was running the half day workshop?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I went to Bunnings and I bought all the little black chairs. I had about 30 black chairs. I had my garage turn into a bit of a workshop room, and you came to that. That probably was 7 years ago. That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. And I still use actually one of your processes. I still use that to today and also tell other people one of those processes. So it's like certain things like stick with you and you're just like, okay, this is, yeah, it's part of my
Yeah.
week now.
Yeah, isn't it? It's a highlight. Yeah. So this is really cool
Yep.
because this is what both Michelle and I find. Our business is called Those Two Sisters. I'm Diane McKendrick, and then obviously have my older sister, Michelle Ann, and we are business coaches with a difference. We work with women to unlock the codes of both profit and peace. Because what we were finding is we were working with women that were really good at what they did, but they weren't necessarily making money out of that, or vice versa. There was loads of ladies coming to me who made way more money than I ever made. And I'd say to them, why are you coming to me to be your coach? You're making more money than me. And they'd say, because you've got something that I want. And I was like, well, can you please tell me that so I can start charging accordingly? And what it was peace. So now we work with ladies like you, Christine, to unlock the codes of profit and peace. And it's a very specific style of work, and it's a very specific kind of person that we work with, because we work with change makers. We work with women like you, Christine, who are doing incredible, amazing things in the world. And not all of us, but a few of us, you being one of them, we have this journey that started several years ago. We sort of cheerleaded each other and cheered from afar, and now our paths have come back crossed. You've come to our retreat. We've been in your magazine. We're sponsoring your event that's coming up. So do you want to share sort of where you were back then several years ago when you came to the first half day workshop, and then what's happened since then? Then you joined with those two sisters, and you know what happened after you joined with us, and how much of your life changed and how much of your business changed when you got a really like a world-class coach and a world-class community, and where your business is going now with the support of those two sisters and community.
Yeah, well, I mean, like 7 years ago, I was 3 years after my second marriage had crumbled. I was still living with two very chronic illnesses. Like they were still freshly new, coming out of bankruptcy and really trying to find who I was, like in and out of different relationships. Like I didn't know who I was back then. So that was sort of like the start of finding me again, of who I was. And I just sort of dipped my toe into whether or not I start a business because I needed something that was going to work for me. Because living with chronic illness, like I mean, sometimes just working the 9 to 5, it just wasn't going to work. And I had done 20 plus years working in corporate. So I knew I didn't want to go back into it. Fast forward to now, I've created two global businesses. I've got four businesses that I run, and creating like a huge impact around the world. So I actually know who I am. I feel like I say that I know who I am because I'm actually knowing this person every single day. Like it's a new person that shows up, like new things are unfolding. It's crazy. If you haven't been through personal development, you're probably going, what is she talking about? But it's a new person that shows up every single day. And like leaps and bounds of like where I was, like I mean, coming from the retreats, like I thought I had myself, but it was really the first time that I felt truly seen. There was like these moments where people were looking me in the eye and like it was like they were touching your soul. And I've never had that experience before. And it sort of unlocked the whole, and I'm like a visibility person. And I'm like going, oh, hang on. I'm not really being visible like to my full potential either. I was dulling myself down because when you talk about like success and what I've achieved in the last 5 years, most people will never do in their lifetime. And it really took a moment to go, I have to own all of that. And it's actually okay to really shine myself and not dull that down. So that's sort of been the journey, is like learning more about myself, but also owning my success, like actually really
Yeah.
fully owning it.
Owning your success. So that happened at the our Energetics of Business retreat a month or two ago. And the woman that you were then when you walked into that retreat was, you're doing business, you're doing, well at business. Like you said, you've got four global brands making a massive impact in so many people's lives. And then from that weekend and that moment of being seen and all the things that we orchestrate and do together, you get a lot of experience with our divine hypnotics method, which is rewiring the brain, reconnecting to the body, and really evolving the being and the faith and what you believe in beyond yourself. What would you say is the biggest difference now after that retreat and after coaching with us in the Queen's Club? You've shared a little bit of Christine before. You had chronic illness. You just come out of bankruptcy. Um, you were supposed to actually come to the retreat before, but the cyclone blew your stuff, blew your house down, and you
Yeah.
had all sorts of shit going on. So we postponed that one. We moved you to this one. It's exactly where you needed to be with the right people.
Yeah.
And now moving forward after having that experience, being supported, going through the embodiment practices and processes, like who is Christine now and what's she creating, and how can people that are listening to this become part of it?
Feel like I'm unstoppable. It's like there's just this sort of nothing holding me back. I'm like going, you know what? If I want it, I'm going for it. And it's
Yeah.
actually okay to want more. And I used to go, oh, maybe, oh, what are people going to think? And now I'm like going, well, if you are going to think that I'm not a good person or you think that I want too much, actually, that's okay. I can actually just remove myself from that room.
So
So,
one, it's okay to want more. Like you can
yeah,
want more and you can give more and you can receive more. So there is always more, as we talk about in the Queen's Club. Like there's always more happiness, there's always more money. But what comes with that is the opposite side of that. There's always more
mm,
pain, there's always more sorrow, there's always more grief. And being able to neutralize that, because when you're an entrepreneur like yourself and you're running four global businesses, it's not always just the fun, fairy, bloody rainbows and unicorns. It comes with that challenging times.
yeah.
So, what do you do? Because this is the other thing, I see you going from leaps in bounds, but it's not always easy. Like, often social media doesn't see the behind the scenes for many entrepreneurs. But do you think it's okay to still have that voice of expectation or that voice of criticism or that voice of whatever voice it is for the person and still be successful?
I think you have to have it
Mm,
because there's always light and dark in everything. So, and like this is one of the things, like I remember like going back, like we talk about the very first time we met, and you said there's always a voice, give that voice a name, and then basically tell them to F off. Like I do that. Like I still do that to the day. I have this name, I've named them, and it basically is just going, okay, thank you so much, because all you're doing is trying to protect me.
yes.
That's okay. I am so, so grateful that that's what you're wanting to do. But right now, I actually don't need it because I know where I'm going. Like, I know that I'm safe and I'm supported. And I think that's what the Queen's Club does. Like, it actually supports you in your visions and dreams to know that if you stumble, maybe if you trip, if you fall over, you've actually got people there to help support you back up. And it's actually okay to make these fumbles in life because we're human beings. We're actually meant to do that. We're not actually to have everything absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. And I think it's also refreshing when you're getting such close proximity with other industry leaders and business owners, the ladies in the Queen's Club, to actually see behind the curtains and know that every single one of us at some point is going through something, particularly if you choose the life of an entrepreneur and building your own brand and sharing stories and writing books and starting magazines and podcasts. You actually get to be around other women who perhaps maybe we've pedestaled or we've seen do really well in the industry. And then you're just like, actually, she's a real person. She has struggles too. She has bad days too. Oh, she has self-doubt. She runs a, 15, $20 million business and still has days when she gets out of bed and is like, I'm not sure who I am or what I'm doing. I don't know if you find that refreshing, but I find that really refreshing going, oh, they get it too. Everybody gets it. So to
Exactly.
be able to be supported, see behind the curtains and genuinely be each other's support group and cheerleaders.
Yeah, absolutely. And like it's real. It's not this made up, story that we have to do. And I think that's probably one of the things I wanted to try and do now is like I just want to show up. Like I'll show up without makeup. I will show up when I'm just about to go to bed because I feel called to actually share the stories. And I'm all about stories. So if I'm not sharing my story, how can I expect my clients to share their story in a really raw, vulnerable, and empowering way as well?
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So you're the storytelling queen and you do it for yourself and you teach and show, educate, inspire, entertain others to do the same. Do you want to tell us about your businesses and what you've got coming up if people want to meet you in person or if they want to jump on this beautiful train of support and coaching and community? What's coming up for you that you'd like to share?
Yeah, so obviously what's coming up mostly at the moment is we've got the Inspire Awards, and I started the Inspire Awards last year. So I found there's so many awards out there, and they're celebrating how much money you're making, they're celebrating how much fame and success that you are. But there's real people behind the scenes that are making this beautiful impact, and I call them change makers. And these are the people we need to celebrate. These are the people who are creating missions and visions and empires without having an attachment of the money side or without having the attachment of the fame and success. And these change makers need to be celebrated. So we had 100 beautiful people in the room last year. Currently, we have applications that are coming in. They finish at the end of July, ready for our judging process. And then on the 17th of October, we're all going to come together for a very beautiful Gatsby inspired award ceremony on the Gold Coast. So that's the main thing, but it all interlinks into stories, which is what I'm all about. Stories should be the forefront of your marketing. And I compare marketing whether or not are you going like Blockbuster or are you having a business like Netflix. And if you're not creating the marketing like a Netflix business, you're going to fall behind like Blockbuster. So stories are absolutely key. COVID taught us that we want human connections. We don't want to buy from big businesses. We want to buy from the small businesses and we want to buy from people. And the only way for people to buy from you is to actually know about you, know your why, and share your story.
Yeah, mic drop, please. Oh, so beautiful. I love this. And so you're running the awards for the reason that you
Yes.
just described, explained to us. Speaking of stories, do you want to share the behind the scenes of the first one? Because what happened is you ran an amazing event with 100 people in the room and all the people who had been registered, and you just, from the outside looking in, like just like a swan across the water. What was Christine going through in that process and perhaps still going through? Because, like you said, the next one's on the 17th of October. And I run events, I run retreats, and I run workshops, and I know the behind the scenes, not just the logistical, tangible things, filling the room, talking to like organizing catering and people on the last, oh, I'm gluten free, I'm dairy free, I need this. And you've got 100 people telling you, what's happening for Christine and the version of you that is putting this together that perhaps social media is not seeing. Tell us all about that and how you overcome it.
Look, I'm slightly shitting myself. Like, I am not going to, like, not to, play down this because, first of all, there's like been 15 tickets sold. So you're sitting there going, okay, this is like an over a 10 grand event. Now, we don't have, like, yes, we've got some table sponsors, but that does not cover like a fraction of this event. So I'm like going, well, I've got to sell this out. Otherwise, I'm up for 10 grand. And I'm like, I don't have 10 grand.
This
So
this
you're
is
just
this is
like,
the thing, right? A lot of people look from the outside in and they don't
yeah.
realize that, they're trying to get free tickets or they're trying to do whatever, but they don't realize is that events like this don't make a huge amount of money. Like it's the same with the retreats. People are like, oh, you make so much money with the retreat because they might work the numbers out and it's 3 to 5 grand each and we got 15 or 20 people there. And I was like, if you add up the food, you add up getting facilitators in, you add up the accommodation, there's not a huge profit margin. And I feel like it's the same for your event. So it's like
Yeah.
the ticket sales that cover the event, that create the community, that position you for your magazine, which we'll talk about in a moment. And that takes a lot of courage, committing to something that costs a certain, with a price tag that you don't quite have yet. You don't have
Yeah.
a plan B. You don't have something you can fall back on. You're relying on your marketing, relying on, that voice of self-doubt to quieten long enough so the voice of courage can step in and keep taking that next step. So, how do you keep taking the next step knowing that this is a massive accomplishment and achievement and a massive timeline shift? And you have done it before, but it's different every year. How do you
Yeah.
manage that?
There's a question that I ask myself, what if? Now you can go, what if I don't do this? Or what if I do this? And that's the voice of reason going, okay, well, if I don't get out of bed today, what's going to happen? Now, there are days where, like living with a chronic illness, like there are days where just getting out of bed is like the best that you can possibly do. But if I don't do this, like I am asking so much from my clients to show up. So how can I ask my clients to show up if I'm not actually doing it? So I think you've got to practice what you preach. And I
Hmm.
think that's what I'm really about. But also too, I see the end result. And it's really interesting. I'll go back to my corporate days and everyone's like going like with project management, like you keep the end in mind and you start from the vision and you sort of
Reverse
then work,
engineer. Yeah.
yeah, and you go backwards. I'm like going, okay. And every time I do this, I'm like, oh, Christine, you could have done this, you could have done that. I'm like going, yeah, I could have. Like hindsight is amazing, but I'm in it right now. So what can I do today to do it? And I've had to like, I don't like saying it, but I've had to put my big girl panties on sometimes. I can just like go, okay, like swallow the hard things. Like we're on a call today. I'm like, oh my God, there's my perfect client sitting there. You know what? I'm just going to put it out there. All she can say is no. And if she says no, that's okay. But I did it. And I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, if I can do that, then else can I
That
do?
impressed me. Like we were sitting on the Rich Lady Revolution call this morning, the Get Shit Done call, and I was doing coaching and I was doing the coaching. Then I looked over at the chat and I saw that Christine had put her big girl panties on, as she says, and asked the question. And there might be an opportunity here for other people listening to this. So Christine is running the Inspire Awards on the 17th of October. And she shared a little bit about that. If there's other opportunities, like people are listening to this and you want to sponsor it, if you want to join a community of like-minded women, if you want to be positioned next to Christine and us, we're a table sponsor for the event. If you want to meet other women, then reach out to Christine and ask for the sponsorship packages. Or if it's not a sponsorship package, maybe you want to sponsor a table and bring 10 people along. So how else can people support this this what is it? What I'm running is a revolution. Yours is a mission. Yeah, this event, how can
Yeah.
people support?
Well, first of all, I'd love for people to ask who inspires you. And a lot of the time, people go, oh, it's so and so. But what about yourself? Like, why don't you actually put your big girl panties on and actually go and apply it yourself? Like there's so many times people are like going, oh, but I hear it so many times. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, my business isn't ready enough for it. I'm like going, okay, so, and I used to be like that. I'd be like going, oh, I'm not successful because I don't have this in the bank account, or I'm not successful at that. And then I tell people what I've done, and they're like going, are you kidding me? Like I think we just downplay so much of what we've achieved. So I actually encourage everyone to go and apply. Like you've got 10 or say 10 days left to go ahead and do your application. And it costs $39 to apply for 8 different categories. And then that's the question, what if you do it, and what if you do become a finalist, and what if you do win?
Yeah, I love that. So pull your big girl panties on, go and apply. What's the word when if you're putting someone else? Oh, nominate yourself and
Yes.
apply. So it's $39 and you can go into 8 categories. Just even as you were speaking, I was like, I don't know if I've got my registration in yet. Do you know? Can you sing?
Your nomination is in, so you just got to do your application.
Okay, so I've got to do my application, and then I'm thinking of other ladies who I want to nominate literally as we're speaking. So I've written them down when we get off the call. I'm going to inspire I'm going to nominate a handful of ladies to get their application in as well. So yeah, just think about who inspires you, get your own nomination in there. And on the night, it's always a beautiful evening with incredible ladies, and you meet some really like-minded professionals and awesome people. Tell us a little bit about how. Um, the magazine that you've created fits into all of this.
Oh, well, the magazine came first, and it used to be called the Corporate Escapist magazine, but I thought, you know what? Like, there's so much more. We're here, like you're saying, it's a mission. I'm on a mission to, celebrate change makers. So we renamed it Inspire Magazine, and everybody, gets an opportunity to be part of the magazine. And what we've created this year is the prizes for all the winners. So there's 8 categories, so there's 8 winners, and they will all receive a double page feature inside the magazine. They'll also get an episode on our podcast. And then, in addition to that, they will also get a branding call, like a strategy call. And what that is going to show them is how to use the power of their messaging, because a lot of people will go, oh, I've been on this podcast, or I've been featured in this magazine, or, I've spoke at this event, but they don't actually know then how to take that to the next level. And most people, that's the missed opportunity. So I will actually teach them for in an hour one-to-one session of how to use the win from the Inspire Awards, plus the magazine article, plus the podcast interview, to then be able to create their own global movement, and to be able to help them attract, their clients, attract the messaging that they actually want to get out to the world.
Oh, wow, this sounds amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So if do people do want to nominate or register, where do they go to do that?
Yeah, so if you do Linktree, and then just I think it's
Actually, what we'll
backslash.
do is if you send me the links, we'll put
Yes.
the links below so people can just click on it. And if you're driving while you listen to this, when you finish driving, just take a mental note to click on the link. You'll be able
Yeah.
to go and nominate yourself or someone else. You'll be able to put your own application in for $39. And you will also put the link for coming as an attendee as well. So you can
Yes.
jump on. How much is it a ticket to attend for the evening? Because you get dinner, no alcohol. It's a no, non-alcohol event, which I love.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, there's an option if you wanted to buy alcohol this time. We've just, but the bar is opened for you guys if you want to
Okay.
do
Yep.
that. And then, yeah, 3-course meal, plus some beautiful entertainment. We've actually got somebody opening the ceremony with some sound bowls to be able to create the beautiful environment and open up a heart space to receive all the love and support in the room. And it starts from $150 to come on the night as well.
Yeah. Awesome. And you'll be in a room full of, 100 people or so,
Yeah.
some incredible change makers. And yeah, this is super exciting. I'm so pumped. So if people want to follow along, where is the best place to go and follow you?
So at the Corporate Escapists, and we're on all major socials.
Yep, cool. That was nice and easy. And if you had final words for people listening to the podcast, what would that be?
If not now, when?
Oh, yeah, I love it. Well, thank you for sharing time and space here with us today, Christine. It's about, I sometimes get confused with the date, the 22nd of July, I think. So we've got a couple of months. If you're listening to this podcast after the 17th of October, when the Inspire Awards for this year has been run, make sure you still go and follow Christine and all her socials. It's really fun to watch because she's going places and she's doing amazing things. And I'm guessing the Inspire Awards and definitely the Inspire magazine is something that's going to have longevity and sustainability. And a lot of the women listening to this podcast are change makers, quietly confident, doing their own thing, but not necessarily getting noticed for what they're doing. So follow along and come along the journey, and we'll see you at the same time, same place next week. Wow, what an episode. Now here's the thing, knowledge is power, but action is where the magic happens. So if today's episode lit a fire in your belly and you're ready to cut the crap, do the thing and step into the woman you were born to be, then I've got something special for you. Join us inside the Rich Lady Revolution, the membership. It's your next level support system and soul-powered strategy space to redefine what it means to be rich. Rich in profit, peace, presence, and power. This is your invitation to experience what it's like to be fully supported and deeply connected with a world-class coach and a community of high-caliber women who get it. Women just like you. Women walking the path of aligned success with no more burnout, no more sacrifice, and absolutely no more hiding. Inside, you'll receive weekly accountability, rich conversations, and real-life tools to evaluate your income, your impact, and your inner world, all for just $149 a month with no lock-in contracts. So if you are serious about stepping into your rich lady identity, redefining success on your terms, and making meaningful money without losing yourself in the process, head over to www.thosetwosisters.au/membership, or come join the conversation on our Facebook page, The Rich Lady Revolution. Your next level isn't just calling, it's right here, waiting for you. Trust me, your future self will thank you for it.